Okay, so I have to kick off this deep dive with a number that, frankly, it just baffled me. $1,199.99.
It is a very specific, and I'll admit, very steep price tag.
Right. And that's for a single cable, specifically the PureLink EZH8-070-DT. I mean, usually when I need a cable, I'm just digging through a bin or buying some $5 cord. So help me out here. Why does this thing cost more than my first car?
Well, context is everything. You're not buying a cord to hook up a game console in your bedroom.
Nearly.
We're looking at a serious piece of industrial engineering. This is a 70-meter HDMI 2.1 solution.
70 meters. That's what, over 200 feet?
229 feet to be exact.
Quite
Basically the length of a hockey rink. And I think the mission of this deep dive is to figure out the engineering it takes to push an 8K video signal that far without losing a single pixel.
So it's really the distance that's driving the price up. Why can't you just use a really, really long standard cable?
It really comes down to physics.
Yeah.
Your standard HDMI cables use copper wires, right? They're transmitting electricity.
Of electrons.
Electrons, exactly. And the problem with electrons is resistance.
They get tired.
In a way, yeah.
Huh.
Think of sending a signal over copper, like shouting down a very long hallway. If it's short, you hear me perfectly. But if that hallway is 200 feet long,
The sound just dies out.
it dies out. With copper HDMI, the signal degrades so fast.
Yeah.
After just a few meters, you're getting a snowy screen or just a black void.
Okay, so how does PureLink solve that?
They switched the medium entirely. To go that distance, they had to ditch electrons and switch to fiber optics. They're using photons, light.
And light doesn't have that same resistance issue.
Not at all. It travels incredibly fast and clean.
And I'm guessing that speed really matters because 8K is just a ton of data.
It's a massive amount of data. This cable is rated for 48 gigabits per second.
Which sounds huge, but can you put that in perspective for me?
Sure. Think of it like a highway. Your old cables are maybe a 2-lane road. It's fine for standard HD. But to get 8K resolution at 60 hertz with something called 4.4.4 chroma subsampling, you need a 12-lane superhighway.
Hang on, 4.4.4 chroma subsampling. What's that?
It's just technical shorthand for zero color compression.
Yeah.
Most video you stream actually compresses the color data to save on bandwidth.
Okay.
This cable sends every single pixel's unique color information perfectly intact. And to do that, you need that massive pipe, that 48 gigabits per second.
That makes sense. Now, looking at the specs, I'm seeing a lot of acronyms, HEC, EARC, but this one caught my eye. Self-detecting EDIDE. What does that mean for the person plugging it in?
ED is basically the handshake between your devices.
Yeah.
It's your TV telling the source, hi, I'm a 4K display. Sometimes over these long distances, that message gets lost.
And your screen stays black.
Right, you're left fiddling with settings. This cable has a chip that ensures that handshake happens perfectly every single time. It just works.
Reliability. Got it. Now, the model name ends in DT. Those letters usually mean something.
They do. And this is clever. It stands for Detachable. Honestly, this is probably the main reason an installer would buy this specific model.
Detachable. The head comes off.
The actual HDMI connectors, the heads of the cable, they just pop off.
Why would you ever want to do that?
Have you ever tried to pull a cable through a tight hole in a wall or a narrow pipe?
Once. The head got stuck. It was a complete nightmare.
Exactly. With this, you detach that bulky HDMI head, and you're just left with the slim fiber cable.
Yeah.
Fish that through the wall, then you just click the connector back on. Turns a 3-hour job into 10 minutes.
That is actually genius. But don't these active cables usually need their own power supply? I don't see a power brick here.
That's the other really neat trick. It's all plug and play. It draws a tiny amount of power, like 250 milliwatts max, directly from the HDMI port on your device.
So no hunting for another outlet behind the rack.
None. It keeps the whole installation incredibly clean.
So, verdict time. It's clearly overkill for my living room.
Oh, definitely. This is for mission-critical setups.
Yeah.
Medical imaging, huge digital signs in stadiums, or those luxury home theaters where the projector is 100 feet from the receiver.
Places where you absolutely cannot afford for the screen to flicker.
When failure's not an option, you pay for the fiber. You pay for the reliability.
So it's a specialized tool for a very specialized job.
Precisely.
Okay, before we wrap up, here's a thought for you. As our TVs get better and better, 8K and beyond, the data requirements are only going up.
They're exploding.
Are we reaching the end of the copper age in our own homes? Will fiber optic cabling inside our walls eventually become as standard as, say, plumbing?
That is the big question for the next decade, isn't it?
Something to mull over. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.